Sup? Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Augustine Versace. This is Onell Media, and you are awesome. So today I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about why I don't want to get the A7S Mark III, even though I am a Sony shooter, and it's wishful thinking. But first, before we get into anything, like, subscribe, ring that bell notification so you can be notified every time I have tips, tricks, tutorials, and we get to sit down and have tech talks about cameras. So let's get into it. Alright?
I wake up, flex, thumb down that check, no drip this, tell them run it up.
Yes, so the A7S Mark III, the camera so many people have been waiting on, is finally here. And so many of you guys are scrounging up your money to go and get it. That's $3,500 US. And me personally, I'm not spending that much money on a camera that I'm not going to be using for pictures as well as video. See, a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat as me. Now, for anybody who shoots mostly video and occasionally shoots pictures, and maybe you only use those pictures for social media, the A7S Mark III is great because it is a 12 megapixel camera. 12 megapixel. Bruh, the new iPhones are 12 megapixels. It's a 12 megapixel camera, and the thought process behind that is it's supposed to help with the video on low light by having bigger pixels. I'm not the person to explain that to you. Maybe you guys should go see Gerald Undone. But back to what I was saying. Effectively, even though it's a full frame sensor, you're getting the same amount of megapixels that you would be getting on an iPhone. Now, I am a hybrid shooter, so I shoot video just as much as I shoot pictures. And even though I don't need the A7R Mark IV with all the big pixel count, because I'm not shooting anything that I need to blow up humongous like, I am still taking a lot of pictures professionally. So in my mind, it doesn't make sense to get the A7S Mark III. The reason being, I shoot weddings, I shoot birthdays, I shoot graduations, I shoot proms. Those don't need to be the largest of pictures, but I may need to crop and do some adjustments, and 12 megapixels just won't do it. So I seen the A7R Mark IV, and I've seen the A7S Mark III, the A7SIII, and I'm thinking in my head, my boy has got to be on his way. Who is my boy, mind you? My boy would have to be the A7 Mark IV. Now, the camera that I shoot with, the camera that I'm on right now, the A7 III. I love this camera. I switch back and forth between video and photo all the time. So this camera right here is a perfect setup for me. Honestly, the only thing it really doesn't cover well, because even right now I have a monitor. I'm shaking the monitor right now, guys. But even now I have a monitor that I have to shoot with when I'm in the studio because I don't have the flippy outy screen. It has the tilty up and down screen. And that's not really helpful, especially when I'm shooting video, because I can't frame the shot. I cannot frame the shot. I just can't, because I can't see anything. I have to use a monitor, and as you guys may know, with the A7 Mark III, when you plug in that input to go into that external monitor, oh my God, the phone rings. Oh! All right, guys, so I'm back. Don't you hate when you get phone calls in the middle of recording a video? My bad. When I'm shooting in 4K and I use an external monitor, I no longer have face detection, right? That sucks. So even if you did find an external monitor that didn't bother you, just always being on top of your camera, you also have to deal with, now I can't shoot in 4K. Why do I have 4K if I can't use 4K? Can't use 4K, what's the point? Right? Sony fixed that in the A7S Mark III, which leads me to think it will be fixed in the A7 Mark IV. I'm sure A7 IV is going to be fixed, no problem. But who cares about it being fixed, because the A7 Mark IV is going to have the flippy outy screen. I know it. It's just a little waiting game, I think, because it hasn't been announced. So I don't know when or if it's going to drop. I'm thinking not this year. Hopefully early next year it'll drop. And I would go with that because, one, it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper than the A7S Mark III. And number two, it's probably going to be the perfect middle ground for somebody like me, who is a hybrid shooter that shoots a lot of video as well as photos. It'll have 20 some odd megapixels, which is okay. And then it will have really the video features of the A7 Mark III are just fine to me. The absence of the flippy out screen is honestly the biggest fallback that I had with that, and the fact that if I do use an external monitor, say if I'm using a gimbal, I'm probably going to want to use that external monitor just to be able to see things more clearly. I would no longer have my autofocus in 4K face detection autofocus. So that is why I don't think I'm going to be shooting with the A7S Mark III unless Sony wants to give me one. Hey guys, how are you doing? I won't be using it because I have no need for it when I'm a hybrid shooter. The 12 megapixels really did it for me. I can't really use that professionally for my photos, which means I would still be using my A7 Mark III, and I would much rather have two camera bodies that I could use pretty much anytime I want to. The A7 Mark IV would be good for me to vlog with, as well as just set up things on the go, convenience. I still have my A7 Mark III. I don't think I'm getting rid of my A7 Mark III. There's a reason why this thing has been like the king for creators for the past 2 or so years since it came out, because this camera is really amazing, and with just a few tweaks it would really be the perfect camera for me. So that is why I'm looking forward to the A7 Mark IV. If you're thinking that you might be waiting on something else, let me know down bottom. Also, give me likes. Go subscribe if you're not subscribed, please, and bell notifications. So once you're subscribed, you can know when I'm dropping videos. You come back here, you check it out, and we can chop it up. All right? So with that being said, peace. Love you guys.